Haymarket.
Haymarket.
G'day everyone, and thanks for tuning in. My trips are never complete without a foodie adventure, so this visit to Sydney is no exception. Without further ado, let's join Live Ryan to see what's going on.
And g'day everyone, that's right, you're joining me in Sydney today. I have just gotten off a flight on Jetstar from Adelaide, so I have a 6-hour transit here in Sydney before getting on the XPT sleeper train to Melbourne. So what kind of shenanigans can I get to in Sydney within 6 hours? As usual with all my transits this long, it is all about the food. So let's start eating now, shall we? Let's do this.
For most of us visiting Sydney, it always starts here after getting off the airport train. My friends living here are always going on about how old and third world the trains are. But we cannot deny how stunning the newly renovated Central Station looks. It kind of reminds me of St. Pancras in London, where the old and new mesh into one to create this visual masterpiece. I like what I see. If you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan. Born and bred in Singapore, I now call Australia home, and I create heaps of travel and food related content. This batch of videos capture the last bit of traveling I did for the year 2022, and it started this morning in Adelaide. I would hop on board the XPT train later this evening before flying back to Adelaide to wrap up an eventful year of discovery, traveling all around Australia. I look forward to more in 2023, and I hope you'll follow me on this journey. Make sure you hit subscribe and the bell icon so you won't miss what's coming up next. Giving me a like would definitely encourage me to keep prodding along to keep creating more videos. And here's the thanks. Your support is very much appreciated. The focus of my gastronomical journey today will center around the area of Haymarket. This suburb encompasses Central Railway Station, where I was earlier on, and Chinatown, where you will never ever go hungry. So off we go in search of yummy foodie for my tummy. After a short 10-minute walk from Central Station, I find myself in Market City. This is a shopping mall located above the heritage-protected red brick facade of Paddy's Market. I'm not here for the markets though. I'm here to eat. And when in Chinatown, you must always make room for yum cha.
So anyway, we've ended up in
Haymarket.
Haymarket. Yeah, we ended up, this is my cousin Joyce.
Hello.
Yeah, so she's the one that's hosting me today for this. I'm going to be here for 6 hours. We're going for some really fancy yum cha at this place called The 8 here in Haymarket City.
And look at the queue.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not bad today.
Yeah, no reservations, so it better be good, yeah? So let's, hopefully we get to the front of the queue soon, alright?
Opened in 2017, The 8 is considered one of Sydney's better dining experiences. Its branding is non-traditional as it uses a lot of dark colors with gold trimmings, giving it a very modern vibe. Stepping inside, the noisy, clangy environment, typical of a weekend yum cha location in Hong Kong, is very well replicated here. I'm glad pushcart yum cha is still a thing, because this is as authentic as it can be. And this is the kind of yum cha I grew up with. After all, part of my family hails from Hong Kong. I can see how a scenario like this can seem intimidating for the uninitiated. Things are happening a million miles an hour, and the staff has no patience to explain things to you. You literally take a seat and start pointing away as the food carts fly by. Are you curious about yum cha and itching to try it? Let me know in the comments.
I cannot believe we got a seat. Whatever you like.
Chronic overeater.
Thai quite. Yeah. Thầy cũng xin là.
Just order whatever you want.
I scared I over order 啊。好啦好啦，係咁先啦嚇，唔該。
Since only two of us were dining, I had to hold back the temptation of ordering everything in sight. So we ended up with steamed pork spare ribs with black bean, savory rice rolls which had been pan-fried, and steamed bean curd with fish paste stuffed on top of it. It is now time for dessert, which was a refreshing mango pudding with creamy evaporated milk. There is no reason why this wouldn't be an excellent dessert because we have awesome mangoes grown in Australia. Sweet, delectable, and incredibly flavorful this pudding was. And this is the eventual crime scene we left behind.
We are so full. So we're done and we're gonna go somewhere for dessert and coffee. So I don't know where we're gonna end up, so we're gonna take a walk now, alright?
The last time I actually visited Haymarket was in 1997. While the vicinity of Market City and Paddy's Market has remained relatively unchanged, walking into Darling Square was certainly a revelation. Gone are the two-story shop houses, and they have been replaced by towering blocks of apartments after apartments. Not to mention the countless number of restaurants and cafes beneath them. Talk about being spoiled for choice. Even after having such a full meal, it'll surely make you want to open your mouth again to create more oral stretch marks. Bloody hell. Do I ever stop eating? Besides food, my coffee obsession knows no bounds. We say hello to Edition Coffee Roasters at Darling Square. This Japanese coffee roaster caught my attention with their interior decor, which is really inspired by a minimalist Japanese farmhouse. If your knees are strong enough, you can clamber into a horikotatsu, a traditional Japanese way of seating with a table set about a sunken floor. Here's a little personal trivia for you. I didn't really start drinking coffee until I moved to Australia 10 years ago. Now that I've discovered roasted coffee beans and barista-made cups of liquid gold, there's no looking back to instant coffee. And the first sip is always the greatest, as my jaws clench up in ecstasy. And that's just how my body reacts to top quality beans. Have I become a coffee snob? You tell me. You can trust the Japanese to take on any type of confectionery and perfect them. This is a crispy, fluffy cinnamon roll with a sugar glaze. And then, there's this chocolate chip cookie like no other. The biscuit base is flavored with miso. Huh? I know, I thought the same. The only way I have miso is in a soup or as a savory glaze on salmon. So this might just surprise me. Perhaps I'm late to the party, but miso is a fermented soybean paste and its pungent, funky aroma is normally found in broths and other savory dishes. So to see them featured in a dessert is new to me. I was suspicious. But here's to new experiences, right? The miso flavor was slow in presenting itself. But once it did, man, it was actually delicious. There was a slight savory note, but it was well balanced and sorta reminded me of salted caramel. But this is the Japanese version, with a slight funky twist. Miso in desserts. Who knew? Maybe I just need to get out more. We know this by numerous names. Cinnamon bun, cinnamon swirl, or cinnamon snail. Whatever it is, the prominent taste of spicy, pongy cinnamon is hard to miss. Reining in the spice with loads of sugar is the way to go. And to be honest, I'm not a fan of the usual way of eating this. The dense, heavy bun lathered with white sugar icing, which is sickeningly sweet. I like this sugar glaze, which is gentle, and the pastry light, flaky and airy. I reckon they've got it right. And that was Edition Coffee Roaster. If I wasn't traveling light, I would have bought more of that miso cookie to take away. But we need to move on, because sitting there and yakking away like there's no tomorrow, a few hours had already gone away from us, like your underwear unknowingly bunching up in your crack after walking the whole day. Before we could even ask, how much wood could a woodchucker chuck if a woodchucker could chuck wood? It was farewell to Joyce as I sent her on her merry way in an Uber. Until the next time. Ciao bella.
A 6-hour visit in Sydney will just fly past if you're having fun. So I've decided to try and get myself into Enjoy Me, which is an Indonesian restaurant you see behind me. I think they specialize in mee bakso, which is an Indonesian noodle soup. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get a table in there because it looks pretty full. So come along with me, let's do this.
Mee bakso is an extremely popular Indonesian noodle dish which is found anywhere from street carts to high-end restaurants, especially around the island of Java. Bakso on its own means the meatball, and the origins of the word comes from bakso, which means fluffy meat or meat floss in Hokkien dialect. Guess what? I am actually half Hokkien, as my paternal grandfather came from Xiamen in southern China. So this dish is thought to have been created by Chinese migrants when they arrived in Indonesia in large numbers in the 1800s.
Minta bakso sapi.
Bakso sapi?
Iya.
Onside-nya mau ayam atau mau babi cincang kok? Babi cincang.
Ayam.
Ayam.
Iya.
Itu aja.
Teh botol ada.
Ada, tapi
Iya.
kemasan kotak ya.
Kotak bisa.
Yang ini ya.
Makasih. Bisa langsung duduk ya?
Boleh langsung.
Oke.
Silakan.
You can choose to have your mee bakso dry or with a broth. I prefer dry noodle dishes, so here you go. And there's a side of braised soy chicken as well. This whole dish is brought together by a very light broth, so make sure you loosen up the noodles and mix it well. At long last, here's my first bowl of mee bakso in years. Jakarta used to be my second home, so exploring the street carts or warung for a hearty serve was the thing to do while I was there. So, sad to say I was slightly disappointed at how bland this was. Never mind. Thankfully, there was chili to the rescue. So I added some, and then some, and then a little bit more, and yum, this dish was saved. Of course, the whole reason we have bakso are these meatballs. They are made from beef and they have a very dense and spongy texture. The key component to getting this bounce is pulverizing the meat into a paste, where the proteins are broken down. So no, this isn't your typical ground beef meatball. it will actually bounce off the floor like a rubber ball. I don't recommend you do that unless you want an Asian auntie's slipper in your face.
Was Enjoy Me for you, an Indonesian noodle restaurant right here in the middle, in the heart of Sydney City. Yeah, so this concludes my 6-hour transit here in Australia's biggest city, and I am ready to head to the train station. So my plan today is really to, well, you know, I arrived from Adelaide this afternoon, and I ate through Haymarket with my cousin. Now I'm ending my dinner here at Enjoy Me, and I'm heading to the train station to take an overnight train to Melbourne. So if you want to see what that experience is like, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get pinged when that video come up, okay? So I will also chuck details of my Instagram up on your screen right now. So hit me up there, chuck me a follow so you'll know where I'm traveling to in real time, and it also gives you an idea of the type of videos that will be coming up on my YouTube channel. Okay, so in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you for my next video. Ciao!